world headquarters of the Mass Preacher, broadcasting from somewhere partially underground on this continent. I entitled this teaching this afternoon, Joseph's Gifts. I'm going to read a verse, Genesis 41. And let's go to verse, okay, 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has showed Pharaoh what God, is about to do. In this story here in Genesis 41, if you've been a Christian very, very long, you're familiar with the story. Joseph is taken in Genesis account. He's taken by his brothers, sold. He ends up as a slave, and then he's lied about and thrown into prison. And then when he's in prison, someone comes and pulls him out of prison because he remembers when this guy was in prison with Joseph, he interpreted the dreams correctly. Pharaoh has two dreams. Joseph interprets the dreams. And he tells Pharaoh, God is the revealer of dreams. And God begins to use him. But what I want to talk about here, that sometimes it gets missed, a lot of times gets missed, is in 1 Corinthians 12, chapter 12. Let's go there. And this was, in chapter 12, is what's called the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And there's several of these gifts that are operating. Okay, chapter 12 of 1 Corinthians. Okay, verse 8. For to one is by the Spirit a word of wisdom is given, to another the word of knowledge. And then a little further down it says to another discerning of spirits in verse 10. So here Joseph, he's pulled out of the joint and he's cleaned up, they shave him, he's coming before the president of the United States or some great leader somewhere, the king of the greatest nation on earth at the time. And he's standing there and the king tells him his dreams. And what I believe has taken place is that a pre-New Testament, I'm not quite sure how to explain how it's different, but it was different. But these gifts are being operated in Joseph's life because the word of knowledge, it's not something he went to school for 10 years to study. But when Pharaoh told him that dream, it could have mean millions of things. But God, the Holy Spirit, downloaded into his brain, gave him a revelation to understand this is the future he had a dream of, Pharaoh. The word of knowledge is a gift that was given to understand what to do. And so Joseph said, store up food, and he gave him a plan. Now, another gift there, I would say, is discerning of spirits. Here is Joseph coming into a foreign culture. He's coming into a very different to his upbringing. And I believe he had understanding in his mind of what was going on. Maybe not fully, but I don't know if maybe that gift wasn't operating. I'm guessing it was. But these other two for sure are happening and operating in this young man's life. And those are three gifts we should all be operating, or we should all be praying for, to find someone. If God, the Holy Spirit, is a YouTube I have entitled severally as He Will, 2 Corinthians 12:11. So, an example in the Old Testament of New Testament gifts being operated, and a picture of how those are to operate. In the movie Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, towards the end, there was an appearance by Father Christmas to several of the characters there. And he gives gifts. He gives Peter a sword and a shield. He gives Lucy bow and arrows. He gives Lucy some healing lotion. And it was the character in this movie, as he will. He gave the gifts that he decided upon. And so what we need to do is pray for the Holy Spirit to give us the gifts that he has decided upon. Lord, I pray for everyone watching this, Lord, the short teaching, that they would diligently pray and fast to seek you and the releasing of the Holy Spirit in our lives to use the gifts in us. Signing off from somewhere partially on the ground, the Mass Preacher bids you good night.